Hi everyone, Coach Ali here. I wanted to come on today and make a quick little video about an aspect of recovery that I see people kind of get stuck in a lot, and I myself did. So I really understand. And it is about this concept, befriending wakefulness. We talk about this as a way to show the brain that we are completely safe. Being awake at night, it's just not our preference, right? So the idea with the concept of befriending wakefulness is we just do whatever we'd like to do rather than fight being awake, right? Rather than trying to force sleep to happen because we don't have any control over sleep. So the more we force and try, and the more the struggle we're in, and that struggle can be what leads us to feeling really emotionally exhausted the next day. So it's about kind of releasing the fight. But what happens sometimes is that we start to kind of check boxes, right? So when we start into recovery, we understand that this practice of befriending wakefulness is really helpful, really valuable in letting the brain know that we're safe. It's fine to be awake. And so we start to do this almost prescriptively. And what I mean by that is it's like X is going to lead to Y, and that's going to equal Z, right? Like if I do this, then my hyperarousal is going to come down, and then I'm going to sleep. And so inadvertently, what's happening here is we are still attempting to control an outcome, right? So we get into this little struggle yet again with another kind of concept that was meant to be helpful, but now we're using it as a way to try to control the outcome of the night. And so we might feel like we're kind of going through the motions of practicing befriending wakefulness. So we're going to do whatever we're going to do. We're going to read our book, or we're going to watch Netflix, or we're, whatever to signal that we're totally fine. It's fine being awake. It's safe. But then we're kind of going through it like as an ends to a means. And we're kind of in the back of our minds, how long do I have to do this for? Is this enough time befriending wakefulness? Is sleep going to come now? Right? And so we're kind of inadvertently still trying to control the outcome in this situation, which, by the way, is perfectly human and normal and understandable. But unfortunately, it just kind of keeps us in that circle, in that cycle, in that loop. And so this is why I like the term embracing or cooperating with what's happening in the nighttime, or the daytime as well for that matter, but we're talking about befriending wakefulness. So if we can just look at this scenario, right? We find ourselves awake when we would rather be asleep. That is always going to be our preference. Our preference going to be to sleep. But since we don't have direct control over that, what we decide to do to embrace the reality of this moment is completely up to us. But the more we can actually truly embrace this reality, okay, I'm awake. This is what it is. This is the situation. I can't force sleep. So what can I do to make this moment just a little bit more pleasant, a little more tolerable than fighting and resisting and being in the struggle all night long? So there's a real, true, genuine embracing and releasing the attachment to whatever happens with sleep, kind of letting that go. And I know it's easier said than done, and that's why it takes practice. I hope that makes some sense. I hope it's helpful, maybe clarifying. Drop a comment or a question if you have one, and thanks for tuning in. Until next time.